So I did go live yesterday or the day before because some stuff was happening in Suriname. I mean, I have no excuse. I could have gone live for 20 minutes. However, I'm back on schedule. I'm back on schedule, and I want to talk to you guys. First of all, if you're watching the replay, welcome in. Appreciate you. And what I wanted to show you guys was Airbnb, how to start your Airbnb business from anywhere in the world. And as you're coming in, I'm going to be answering some questions too. So towards the end, feel free to drop your questions. If you want to talk about starting your own Airbnb business, I'm happy to help you. Anywhere you are in the world, you know, the the fundamentals are the same because it's a numbers game, and then you scale and you make your product as good as possible. Because people always need accommodations. Guests are always traveling, people are always staying for long term, people are in transition. These are the people that you are serving, right? And if you serve them properly, you can make a lot of money. So here's the business model that I teach that I really like. If you have a property that has 5 bedrooms, I like to say to people that you can live in one or put someone in one unit, 1 bedroom, and have them take care of the other 4 bedrooms, right? That person lives there for free. The 4 bedrooms make profit on every single month. So, for example, I break down the numbers for you. If you have a 4 bedroom property and the rent, if you have a 5 bedroom property and the rent is $2,000, 5 bedroom, $2,000, right? And you find this deal, you decorate it really well, you paint it really well, no problem, right? So you spend some money upfront, right? And then for that 5 bedroom, you put someone in one unit and they're going to take care of most things every day, and you give them a credit card and you monitor the credit card, right? So they're able to get supplies, etc. Now, what ends up happening is that the 4 bedrooms are profiting, let's say, $1,000 to $1,200 a month. Minimum, after all expenses, you are earning $2,000 from this property, this one property, without ever having to step foot in that place. Now, think about how incredible that is. $2,000 from one property. Remember, the average person in the US is only getting $4,000 to $5,000 a month from their job. So you're earning half of that passively because you put someone in place to take care of the entire property. That will change the game for other people. And most people aren't talking about this opportunity because they don't know about it. I've been doing this since 2018, 2017, actually. I've been doing this since 2017. And it's what's made me able to travel the world. It's why I was able to get into real estate. And now I manage over $10 million of real estate doing what I do. And so it's a very simple process. But if you stick to it and you grow, you will get to financial freedom because I'm actually proof of that. And I help people do this everywhere in the world. The principles are the same. Hey, how you doing? Drop questions about Airbnb if you want to. I've made multiple 7 figures from Airbnb and I help people to do the same. So this business model works, right? I'll show you again. So you're dividing the entire place by units. So again, you take a 5 bedroom, you put someone in 1 bedroom, have them take care of the other 4. That person becomes a house manager. They control check-in, they control supplies, they make sure that the place is always clean, etc. And then everybody else is earning you money in the other 4 bedrooms. Now you can do this with bedrooms, you can do this with units. So I run through units as well. And then after that, I'll actually show you a hybrid version of this, which is actually really cool. Hey, huggers, how you doing? Welcome in. When you come in, just make sure that you subscribe and you hit the subscribe button and listen to the rest of what we got to say, okay? So this next part is actually really cool. So then you can take, instead of taking bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, you can take, for example, a fourplex. So then, for example, you have not 4 bedrooms, but you have 4 entire apartments, right? Essentially, what are apartments? So you have 4 apartments, you give one free to someone, and then that person manages the other 3. So then your only goal is to find places where the unit works, where you can rent 3 places, buy it for essentially nothing, or get a good deal on the rent so that you can rent arbitrage. Then you are putting one person in one unit, having them take care, essentially doing the same thing as a house manager, the other 3 units. So they'll control check-in, they'll control supplies, they'll clean when people leave and people come, and these become 3 Airbnbs. Make sense? This is a very smart way to do this. So what you're doing is setting up this for one person, and you're using the one, two, three units to actually profit. Okay. I'll show you the hybrid version of this, which actually blew my mind once we figured this out. So essentially, you can do exactly this second version, and you can combine it with the first version. So you're doing bedrooms, but you're doing them for multifamilies. Think about it. This is actually how Marriott was able to make billions of dollars. This is how they're doing it right now. Because what most people don't realize is that Marriott doesn't own its hotels. Marriott leases its hotels. Most people think it owns it. It does not, right? Most of its buildings are leased. So then here's what Marriott does. They go, they get a building, and they say, I'm going to give you the email list, the marketing materials, and the usage of the brand, and you can use this building to make money from the Marriott brand. That's what you're going to do with Airbnb. So you get a unit, you're going to get a multifamily. So let's say you're getting a fourplex, and each of these fourplexes, so this has 3 bedrooms, this has 2 bedrooms, this has 3 bedrooms, this has 2 bedrooms. Essentially, that's 10 bedrooms, 11 bedrooms, 12 bedrooms in one place, 12 bedrooms in one place. So then this is a better deal than the first, but they're not all in one house. So you have separate bathrooms, separate kitchens, etc. You're going to give 1 bedroom to one person, and you're going to have that one person manage the other 13, 14, 12, 11, 10 bedrooms. You see what's happening? Good morning, Dr. Spartan. I actually know that name. I recognize that. Freeze, welcome back. Make sure that you subscribe, by the way, so that you can make money from Airbnb all over the world, okay? And I appreciate you guys when you guys like, because then more people are able to come in. So I'll say it again. When you get to multifamily, you are getting a fourplex, 10 bedrooms, 11 bedrooms, 12 bedrooms. And what actually ends up happening is that you are able to put the entire thing together and give someone a bedroom so that they can take care of the entire thing, which means that now you are earning more money from one location. Instead of earning $2,000, you are now earning $6,000 from one location, and the entire thing is passive, especially if that person knows how to fix plumbing and you can help them, you can teach them to do plumbing, you can teach them how to clean, you can teach them guest relations, you can teach them all of these things so that what eventually ends up happening is that you are running a small hotel in one location. Now, if you do that in one location, you can do that in multiple locations all across the city, which means that in one city, you maybe have 3 or 4 units, and each of these units are paying you $5,000 a month. Think about that. And this is completely passive, which means that you can do this. You can set 4 of these up within 18 months. And if each of these places is paying you $4,000 to $5,000 a month, then you are essentially at $20,000 a month at the end of 18 months. And you can keep scaling if you want to. But now you're finished with the rat race. I just showed you how to do this in less than 10 minutes. I do this every day. I've been doing this since 2017. You wonder why I travel? This is why, right? All that e-commerce stuff and all these things that people talk about, I was able to build this business by myself. Most businesses don't survive past 5 years. Mine has been doing great. The reason I'm telling you this is because there are a lot of people who are going to come on and talk about, you can get rich in 30 days, right? Whatever. But I just showed you a very clear path that you can do this from anywhere you are in the world. Once the numbers work, and it's pretty much if you can make more money renting by the bedroom, so by whatever bedrooms go for in your area, plus or minus 20%, right? Because sometimes your bedrooms can be very nice and you can negotiate with people. If your bedrooms can make more money than the entire unit, this works amazingly. So then, if the entire unit is being rented for 5,000, but then people are renting bedrooms. So if let's say a 3 bedroom apartment is going for 1,500 where you are, but people are renting bedrooms for $1,000, then that means that you can essentially earn at least $1,000 off of that same property, because you can rent, instead of renting the entire unit for 1,500, you can rent it per bedroom and earn $3,000. You understand what I'm saying? It's really that info. And so you can do this anywhere in the world that you can see these numbers work. Yes, I do this to answer your question. Of course, I do this, and I do many other things. I have several businesses. I own real estate. I operate a real estate business. I operate a cleaning business, and I have a few other companies that do really well outside of real estate. And I also own stocks and Bitcoin and all those other wonderful things that everybody needs to. I'm also an author, etc. So there you go. I just actually got confirmation yesterday that the scholarship that we are providing, which we're using all of this YouTube money for, it was actually confirmed. So you guys are actually helping what we're doing right now. We are growing this to send more kids from Jamaica to college. And I received confirmation. I'm probably going to put a screenshot of that so I can actually show people that they're actually subscribing for a reason. Because again, lots of people come on and do fake things on the internet, but I'm not one of them. So right now, I have a screenshot. Yeah, I got the email, I got the text message from well, it was a WhatsApp message that we are confirmed. We selected a recipient and they're gonna get their scholarship um pretty much, in the next couple weeks here. Hopefully in 2 weeks because it's almost like I think it's almost summer break, right? It's June. No, it's July. Yeah. They should be actually pretty much done with school now. But anyway, so you do this, buy me a Porsche with your Airbnb money. I myself don't own a Porsche because I travel, so then buying a car would be stupid. However, I did have my first car was a Mercedes, and I had a Mercedes in college. What's my book called? My book is called Full Student. My second book is called Money, Life, Freedom. My third book, which I'm writing right now, will be called, hopefully, tentatively, Full Money. What it will be called, where it explains pretty much thinking just like this, which is thinking in terms of units and building blocks. A very clear path to financial freedom, which is why I was able to get it myself because I was able to study this for many, many years and then do it myself. So then if you're taking advice from someone who hasn't done what they say that they're teaching, that doesn't make sense, right? What's the purple thing next to my name? The purple thing, oh, that means that you are a subscriber. So I appreciate you. You're awesome. And if you haven't subscribed already, definitely should, because we're helping to send people to college. It's a good cause. But it means you're a subscriber and you're an OG. That's what it means. I will have to get me one. Yeah, please, if you're gonna get any book at all, that book will teach you. I was a straight A student while running my business. And so that book is like time management for learning on steroids, because being a straight A student takes a lot of time. And so then I had to come up with a system and strategies to make sure that school took the least amount of time so I could grow my real estate business, right? That's essentially what happened. So then, for example, I got so good at writing essays that I could write out a straight A essay, like an essay that got me 90, 95, 98% score in an hour. That's how good I got. Now, that didn't happen overnight. I worked on it. But that strategies like those I outlined in my book, which is I needed school to take the least amount of time. So I spent no time on getting straight A's at all because I hated school. I think school is useless for most people and nothing that, no, I'm going to say only two classes in my entire Seton Hall experience. I shouldn't have said the college. It's fine. It's fine. Only two classes. No, Seton Hall is a very top school, by the way. So I'm not saying that it's Seton Hall's fault. Let me just say, because since I mentioned the name, um, this is to do with any college. It's not the college that I went to, and it's not Seton Hall University's fault. Seton Hall is one of the top schools in the universe, in the world, in the USA. Seton Hall is a great school, and they have really good programs. I was in the business school, and Seton Hall has an amazing business school. So it's not again to do with Seton Hall. The problem with college generally that the information that you are learning is at least 5 years old, at least 3 years old for most part. That's what the textbooks, they have to be written, they have to be approved, etc. But then 5 years ago, the technology that we had, the business world that we existed in was so different from right now. And that's a top university, which means that there are some universities that are using books 10 years old. You don't need to know what is marketing and the basics of marketing and the fundamentals of marketing. That does not help you in the real world when people are making 5-second TikToks and getting a billion views. Where is that in your textbooks? That's my point. That's why school is so behind, right? So what I'm essentially saying is that yes, you can go ahead and get your paperwork and get your degrees, and etc., but recognize that school is wasting your time, and you getting to financial freedom has very little to do with college. That's why I wanted to take the least amount of my time so I could finish it quickly and not let it interfere with me making money. That's what my book is about for students. So, very good book. You should definitely read it. And again, I was a straight A student. So, um, yeah. And I was actually a failing student in high school. By the end of high school, I was a straight A student, and then I perfected it when I was in college. I became a straight A student in high school when I realized that I wanted to go to college without paying for it. So that's why I actually started developing this system for myself. Hey, Tadora, how you doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? Tadora said hi. How do I? Am I able to chat back to you guys? I wish I could chat with you guys. Maybe I should get a moderator. Um, anyone? Let me see. Tadora, can you be a moderator? All right, cool. I'm going to make you a moderator. All right, Tadora, I just made you a moderator. Boom. There you go. Change my block. Okay, cool, cool, cool. That's cool. All right, Tudor, you're now a operating manager. I'm operating. I'm moderator. That's cool. Bet. I appreciate you, Tudor. Don't take advantage, or I'll have to stop it. So appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. I only give that to OGs, so you're an OG. And Dark Spartan is an OG too. Dark Spartan, do you want moderator privileges? Let me know. But to get back to what we're saying, right? Um, College is a waste of most people's time, and that's essentially it's not the fault of Seton Hall University. It's just generally this is a problem with college, right? So then here's the thing. There's only two classes that actually made sense, that made the entire experience worth it. And I'll tell you what they are for me. The first was nonverbal communication. The reason why is that most of our communication is not what we say, but how we say it. And so that's about your body language, your eyes, your body positioning, the space between you and the person that you're talking to. And those are the things that matter. Hey, I'm going to show you the cat that is in this cafe. You guys like this cat? He's very cute. Anyway, and that's the first one. The second one is nonverbal communication. The second one is microeconomics. Microeconomics was the second one. Oh, are you gone? Okay, microeconomics was the second one. Microeconomics, there was pretty much two lessons in there. One that taught me the future value of money, which was life changing. And the next one, it taught me how to calculate my retirement. So that was a very important class for me because it actually changed the game. And so, but you're showing your butt to the camera. This is not, we don't do that here, bro. This is this is what only cats. That's hilarious. So those are the only two classes that made my college experience worth it. And so if you are going to go to college, I would tell you that you should take classes that are outside of just you and what your major is. For example, if you're going to college for business, don't only take business classes. Take acting classes. Take marketing. Hey, don't bet me. Take psychology classes, right? Take writing classes. Take things outside of business. Why? Because everybody in the business world will assume that you know business stuff, but you will become more interesting if you know things outside of business. For example, I know history, right? I know I was in the army, so I know about wars. I know about art, right? I know how to speak very well, as you can see. And so I know stage, I know like Adobe Photoshop. These things are what makes me more interesting in the business world. But if you only know finance, you're boring, right? So then I would only take business classes. And that goes for any major. If you are a philosophy major, learn finance. If you're an IT major, learn Spanish. Like, you see what I'm saying? These things make you more interesting. And so that's my advice to people who are in college or thinking about college. But yeah, at the beginning of this, I told you how to make money from Airbnb. You can start that anywhere in the world, and you can start that and bring it all the way to seven figures. Well, you can bring it all the way. That's so funny. Now I'm on green screen. Listen, listen, listen. I don't know how that cat did that. That's hilarious. Uh, how the hell did you just do that? Anyway, um, you can bring it all the way to six figures by the end of 2026. Hey, Stabum, good to see you. Useful information. I agree, brother. I come on and try to do entertainment, uh, but also give you useful information at the same time. So yeah, I'm probably gonna end this live soon. We've been live for about 20 minutes, and it's midday. I'm gonna head to the pool and to the gym and get my stuff on. And this guy, hey, bro, stop biting me. All right, peace out, people. What the hell is that? Why does he keep doing green screen? Guys, I promise this is not green screen. It's, I'm not sure why. There's a green screen effect which is actually built in, but I don't use it because I don't need green screen. Promise. Not green screen. I mean, if this was green screen, I would probably choose a better green screen, don't you think? Just at the cafe. Anyway, people, I'm gonna go um and get to the pool. All right. Oh wait, somebody asked a question. Um, okay, done. Nicely for hilarious. Okay, somebody asked a question, so let me answer your question. Um, before I hop off the live, I would never leave you hanging, brother. Sion, I have a garment business. Please give me an idea to build a market on my own area. Okay, so the first thing I will tell you is that that's a mistake of a question. I'm going to warn you about this and be very real with you. Do not try to build demand. That is a mistake, and it costs billions of dollars. I feel like this cat is going to bite me. Again, do not try to build demand for your product. Build products that already have demand. Just join the market. If everybody's selling search, then sell shirts. If everybody is in real estate, join real estate. If everybody's in gold, everybody's in AI, join AI, join gold. If you try to build, it costs billions of dollars to be first. And most people don't have billions of dollars. Okay. So then, if you have a garment business and there is already a market for it, like you'll see that there are multiple garment businesses near where you are, then great, do that. Okay. The next thing is that if you don't have an online presence, build it, which means that you need to get creative, very, very creative, like outlandishly creative on TikTok. That's not you going on and showing products, that's you making up skits or going on live on TikTok shop, right? Or whatnot, going live and being dressed in a costume and then sell products. You can make a lot of money doing that. Dress up in a costume, dress up like Mario, or dress like a, whatever, and or a dinosaur and make money from going live. That's one. Um, how often are you live? I'm live every single weekday, brother. And so, Diane, you have a garment business, that's great. I would just be very careful that you're trying to build a market rather than going into a market that already exists. Okay. And then get online, get very creative with marketing. If people don't know about your product, they can't buy it. So then everything starts with marketing. Then you must get marketing. You can either do paid marketing or free marketing. If you don't have money, which most people do not, it's fine. Then get very creative with advertising. which is content. Okay, you must get very creative with content. So there you go. If you're not on Amazon, you could also try selling on Amazon, or depending on where you are, whatever way people use to ship to buy online, you should be on that platform. Do not try to build demand. Go where demand already is. You are a life coach too. I am not a life coach, but I do help people set up their financial freedom using real estate. But in terms of life advice, I don't think I'm there yet. And so I wouldn't want to tell anybody how to live their life, but I can help you to financial freedom. That's what I do. If you do get things outside of financial freedom or real estate from me, that's great, but that's not what I'm going for. I think I'm a very happy person. I think not only am I happy, but I my greatest accomplishment, I will tell you, is who I think I am. Well, who I am, not what I do or what I have or the things I've done. So if it helps you to have some ideas on how you want to live your life, then great. But I'm not going to tell you that do this or do that. I'll just share what I do. And if you want it, cool. If you don't, also fine. But when it comes to financial freedom and real estate, yes, I got you. I got you with financial freedom and real estate because we can talk about that all day. We can talk about stocks. Actually, just made a post on my Facebook. I'm talking about how I was advising and talking about the stock market when it crashed in April. And now the stock market hit an all-time high yesterday. All-time high. It's closed above 6,000. The S&P 500 was about 6,000 for the first time ever, and it crashed in April. And my point to people was that if they listen, then they're able to profit. But if when the stock market crashes and you start to panic, then you don't get paid. So again, I do that and I talk about money all day, every day. Yo, Kadim, I'm tapped in. Mateo, you're a G. Mateo, I'm going to give you, um, I'm going to give you, a moderator, bro. So welcome to the, welcome to the community. You're on the other side. You're now a moderator. I own $1,000 in Boeing. Fantastic. And in fact, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Good. I'm glad that you got advice. Sam, that's good. Uh, Dark Spartan. Yeah, exactly. Now is the time to actually own Boeing, right? Because think about who Boeing is. There are only two airplane companies in the world, Boeing and Airbus. That's only two. And we haven't really innovated with aircraft technology in the last however long we've had, almost 100 years. We've had airplanes. Commercial flights are only maybe 60, 70 years old, right? Maybe, if that. And so if there's only two companies in the world, Boeing cannot fail. That's it. Boeing can't fail. So then, if you're thinking about how to set up and buy good stocks, buy good companies, if Boeing is down because of emotional news, but they're still a profitable company, that's a great time to buy Boeing. That's a great time to buy Boeing. So then, as it's crashing because people are saying, damn, Boeing is so unsafe, etc., right? That's an emotional reaction. But as a company, are they making profit? Are they going to continue to grow? Are they going to continue to build new airplanes? Are people going to continue to buy from them? Yes, because there's only two companies in the world. It's Airbus and Boeing. They essentially have a monopoly. It's either those two. And so if it crashes by 20%, 30%, it's a good buy. However, also remember that it's not it's not a technology stock, it's a manufacturing stock. What that means is tech stocks are the ones, especially if you're younger, that give you, 400% returns, 1,000% returns. Boeing can increase, but it may not go up as much as Apple or Microsoft or Nvidia, etc. It's tech stocks that do that. Okay. But yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Katedia. $1,000 gets you in. Yeah, it's 200-ish a stock. Cool, great. So again, it's not about price. It's about if it's close by the 2-year lows, it's a good time to buy. If it's 30% off the average of the last year, that's a good time to buy. So what is a good tech stock? That is not a great question, my friend. And I'm telling you so that you're educated, and this may be the first time that someone is telling you, but I can tell you what to buy. It's a lot more complicated than that because there are some criteria. For example, Tesla is a great stock, but if you buy Tesla now, you're an idiot. But if you bought Tesla just a couple of weeks ago when it was down almost 40%, that makes sense, right? Buying Nvidia now when it's at an all-time high would be stupid. But if you bought Nvidia April 7th, it's a good buy. If you bought Palantir April 7th, that would be a good buy. So then these are all good companies. They're all making profit and they're all growing. Palantir, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Zoom, right? All these companies are making good money. But again, if you are not looking at when to buy, then you're gonna make a mistake. And also when to sell, right? Tesla also a good company. These are all tech companies. All right. I said I was gonna go off. So I said I was gonna say goodbye. I hope I answered the question. Dark Spartan, I hope that so are there basic rules to buy? Yes, all right. I'll stay on and answer your questions for a little bit more. There are basic rules to buy. There are some things that you should keep in mind. The stock chart, and this is something I've talked about on this live on these lives before. But I'll say it again for you because you're asking the question. There are two questions that you're asking: when to buy, when to sell. The stock chart, if you are a long-term investor, it's very easy to understand how this works. Okay. If you are trying to do day by day, that is trading, I cannot help you. Sorry for holding you back from swimming. Yeah, I want to go swim and go to the gym. That's funny. Okay. Um, what was I saying? Okay, to buy. The stock chart, the stock market chart, performance chart is the last thing that you want to look at. The price doesn't matter. The stock chart doesn't matter. That's the last thing that you're going to look at. What you actually want to do is look at companies who have growing revenue. That is what's important. Remember, you are buying a piece of a company. If the company is growing, then the market will catch up and the stock price will reflect that. If the company is growing by 100% every year, then it's going to increase. If it's growing by 50% every year in terms of revenue, then the stock price is going to catch up. So don't think about the stock price. That's not important. Here's what you do. You go to Yahoo Finance, look at any stock. You're going to look at the revenue. You're going to go to financials, go to performance. Financials, and go to, um, I think it's cash flow or whatever, right? So you're going to look at revenue growth over the last 5 years. If the revenue has more than doubled in the last 4 to 5 years, that's a good sign. If the cash flow is increasing, that's a good sign. If the debt is going down, that's a good sign. If the debt operating income is increasing, that's a good thing. You can watch this back so you have all the things together. And I hope you're taking notes. If, again, profit is increasing, that's a good sign. No, here's the kicker. If the profit has doubled in the last 5 years, but the stock has only gone up by 10 or 20% or 30%, what does that mean? It means the stock price has not kept up with the growth in revenue, especially if it's a tech stock, which means the company has doubled, but the stock price hasn't doubled. That means it's only a matter of time before the market sees this and corrects it. That's a good company to buy. Again, because the company is growing, or maybe the company gets some bad, you know, press news and everybody's panicking and selling the stock, but the company is still growing. That's a good stock to buy. Only if the company is growing should you buy a stock ever. That's the only reason that you should buy a stock because the company revenue is growing. If the company revenue is stagnant, do not buy that stock. If it's shrinking, do not buy that stock. If the growth is slowing down, don't buy that stock. Okay. And then when do you sell? You can start to sell, and there's two things: progressive selling and progressive buying. If you have $1,000, don't take $1,000 and buy the entire thing. Don't do that. If you have $1,000, you buy 100 at whatever price that you set. And then the next price that you set, you're buying another 100 or you're buying another, 200 or whatever. You're not spending the entire $1,000 at one time. Don't do that. Because if the price goes up, then you want to buy less. But if the price goes down, then you can buy more. It's the same thing with selling. So when do you sell? When it hits an all-time high, that's when you start selling. When it hits an all-time high. So if Nvidia hits an all-time high, you don't sell 100% of your Nvidia stock, but you might want to sell 50% and then put your money somewhere else or just keep it in cash until you can find the next purchase. You don't sell 100%. You sell 50%, and if it goes up some more, you sell another 50% of that, etc., until it gets so ridiculous that you don't think it can go up anymore, and it would make sense to put all your money in something else. So that's progressive selling, and I hope you understand progressive buying as well, which is you don't take your entire portfolio and dump it somewhere. You take a piece, buy, and or you sell a piece as you continuously sell and lower your position. I hope that makes sense. So the short answer is when it hits an all-time high, you start to sell. Don't sell everything, but you start to sell. You sell 40%, you sell 50%, you sell 30%, whatever your position is, so that you can get your money back. And then you keep some money in it so that you can continue to grow with money that you didn't earn anyway. But you get your money back at least. But I hope that helps you, my friend. Now I'm going to go to the swim. I'm going to go to the pool. I'm going to go to swim. So I will see you guys. It was good talking to you. Thank you for joining the live. I hope this made up for not being live yesterday and the day before. But if you haven't watched the videos that were published, um, make sure that you do. Please keep supporting this channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, all right, all right, people. And thank you to my moderators. Peace out, guys.